Movie review, Liquid Cash, story a screenplay by Confidence Onijekbu, directed by Smart Edikin, produced by Precious Kadiri, and executively produced by Ruth Kadiri. This drama titled Liquid Cash with a runtime of 1 hour 36 minutes is currently available for streaming on the executive producer's channel Ruth Kadiri 247. Synopsis: when his mother, Obi Titus, is diagnosed with renal kidney failure, Desmond Anton David Jephthah, a corrupt police officer, a kidnapper, must do all he can to raise the money for her surgery. Might take few. Heaven knows I wanted to rate this movie high, but after watching it for 2.5 times just to be sure I wasn't missing a thing, I had no choice but to give it the score I did. Pained. But well, it is what it is. The movie had potentials. Oh, it absolutely did have huge prospects to be a blockbuster, but regrettably, it lacked proper direction, and its plot suffered in depth. You can tell there was a destination in mind. However, the movie appeared like what in the Nigerian parlance people would refer to as cut and join. It felt disjointed. Story plot: the story is good and refreshing. In fact, quite commendably, it seeks to address or highlight some of the current menaces that bedevils Nigeria as a country. These are corruption and two-faced police officers and the issues of kidnapping, robbing victims of their hard-earned money, as well as equally unaliving them afterwards, and consequently causing sleepless nights and heartbreaks for the victims' families. It also highlighted the estrangement between mother and son in addition to the dynamics around kidney failure and surgery. However, the plot to weave all these together and pass the message in one piece to viewers felt all over the place in a seemingly uncoordinated manner. Casting performance: while the movie had some industry stars like Lilian Esoro depicting Angel and also Kelechi Udig as Doggy, there appeared to have been some miscasting, where the actor who played the lead character didn't carry his role well in my opinion. His acting was subpar and in some cases did not convey matching emotions. There were also some actors who appeared passive for no reason, and you wonder why they were casted in the first place. This is especially Kwasi Blay. If you ask me, he had no business being in the movie as his script was very minimal and his role somewhat inconsequential to the plot. You may even forget he was in the movie. Direction, execution: the direction of the movie felt rushed. The story to me was not properly developed, and this affected the overall execution. The duration was good, but a little bit more minutes to add to the plot wouldn't have been harmful. Technical aspect: although the sound score in some parts made it appear like an action film, as it sets the ambience for it, but the overall turnout gives a different vibe. The cinematography wasn't very impressive. The audio was equally poor, as one can hardly hear the actors sometimes. You'd have to raise the volume, which then blasts when ads come on. Costume and makeup were inconsistent. Applaudable that they used a real hospital and police station as per location. So kudos for that. Lessons: there was a good lesson to take home from here nonetheless, and that is what goes around comes around. Desmond engaged in crime to raise quick money, but this lifestyle became the source of his downfall and the tragedy in his life. Observation or questions: 1. What was the name of that almighty drug worth over 15 million naira? So scarce in the country yet was transported by an individual via public transport inside a cooler. In fact, who was Azuka played by Prisma James? Was she a pharmacist? A sales girl? Someone please help. 2. Desmond's mother's friends said they didn't have money for hospital bed prior to surgery. How then was Desmond's uncle able to pay the 15 million naira for the almighty drug in a heartbeat? 3. Come to think of it, 1 minute, the doctor said the drug in question was not anywhere in the country and that they'll have to import it. Did they eventually import it, or by way of miraculous providence, they found one in the country? This wasn't clearly stated. If they did import it, wow, how fast was that, and why wasn't it sent straight to the hospital? 4. What was the essence of using another actor to play a younger Desmond in the flashback when Desmond's mother already looked like she looked in the present time, with a wee bit of the same sickness makeup? 5. From what we were shown, was that enough reason for the estrangement between mother and son? It wasn't compelling. That. 6. The doctor mentioned they needed 100 to 120 million naira for the surgery, and he sounded urgent given the deteriorating condition of his mother. Desmond then decides to waylay and hijack buses for this end. Please make it make sense. How did he hope to raise such money from poor citizens plying the roads? Not that I'm promoting kidnapping. But for a movie, one would have thought that the gang would target politicians or billionaires. To be brutally honest, given the poster, I had thought there was gonna be a bank heist. I mean, that would have been more believable, right? 7. How did Desmond not know about the drug in question? For all we know, he was already in communication with the doctor, right? 8. Inconsistent scripting with an unnecessarily excessive mention of "I go give you doggy" that was distracting. Kelechi Udik's depiction of that role was annoyingly irritating in the way he kept incessantly sticking his tongue out. A character to HT, but this was worse as I felt like going into my screen to RP off the tongue. 9. The background music at the end was not in sync for a movie that ended in tragedy or sorrowfully. It ruined the experience that one was managing to hold on to. 10. Why was Desmond's girlfriend so desperate to see him that she had to trail him? Yes, she had been calling him without answer. It didn't add up that she seemed so edgy about it. 11. The first time Desmond General went to see his mom, she had more patches on her face than she did when she was hospitalized after she collapsed. 12. Should we talk about the title of the movie? Of course, the title had no correlation whatsoever with the story, as the meaning of liquid cash has no direct or indirect connection with kidnapping or cancer or corruption. 13. The transport company confirmed that one of their buses went missing yet did not file a report to the police. How does this even make sense? See, there's more, but let's just stop here. Conclusion: this movie would have had a better outcome if adequate time had been put into brainstorming, planning, and execution. Too many loose ends and too many lapses. Unnecessary casting and poor performance by the lead actor, as well as some of the supporting actors too, some caught smiling when they shouldn't. Many would find it entertaining or interesting as there are different strokes for different folks. It was emotional at some point, but as mentioned earlier, the plot feels disjointed and this didn't help matters much. Nevertheless, this is a good deviation from the usual storyline by the producer, quite commendable. Just sad that the packaging wasn't fine-tuned for optimum execution at delivery. Rating 4/10. Have you seen this? What did you think? Good review as usual. The lead did justice to the movie. I enjoyed his performance. Doggy was annoying, but I felt his character was necessary. I necessarily loved the cast. It was an okay watch, something different from the produce. These three things for me could have enhanced the movie. 1. Planning of the mission and how it will be executed and screening the target. Considering the risk of the mission. 2. Transportation of the drug seemed careless. 3. The warehouse did not seem visual appealing to me as the viewer. Its setup was not easy on my eyes. I have no business with the rating. But the movie had a solid message. Break from love. Thanks for your take on this. I really appreciate the effort by the producer to give us something different. Just wished it was planned properly and executed well. It saddens me, but pleased to know she's paying attention to viewers' complaints. Thanks again, dearie. The main character did not embody his role very well. I wanted to feel emotional when his mom LSDRVG was destroyed, but he didn't convey his emotions well. Yep, I felt like screaming. Guy, can you just act? Now imagine the likes of Daniel Edam, Stan and Z, or Dayami Okanlawan playing that role. E4 to legend no, the get mind Barb Mama Obi Titus hair for a movie that I finished in 20 minutes. I just don't know which was off for me. Whether it was the girlfriend running into the scene of the kidnap, or the drug they couldn't send directly to the hospital, or a bagel. Oh, somebody should call Mama Ruth to order it. Not a must you have to post new movie every week, but the movie makes sense. Before I always sleep on her page on YouTube, but not her movies no day get head again. That Royal Bank nonsense, the one she acted with Timony that she was a priestess, or what that one to Na Yuam, makes she day calm down. Your review makes sense, shall. I watched the movie and took note of all you just mentioned. As an that I go give you doggy just day vex me very badly. The lapses were too much. Number 1, same observation with me. Such expensive drug was supposed to be delivered directly to the hospital through a logistics company. 2, Desmond uncle could only afford 15 meters first while he sought for the 120 meters. 3, as someone working in a pharmacy, it's very possible some drugs are very scarce or not even in the country, can be gotten only on request. 7, Desmond was aware his uncle has bought that expensive drug for his mom. I agree with number 8. Then 10. She just saw her boyfriend coming out from somewhere. It's normal for her to follow him. So as them carry gun finish bank de no rob. Politician they no kidnap, even forcefully oblige the doctors and the nurse to do the surgery immediately or possibly give us tatata for the movie. If you know that you once assumed this movie is giving cinema standard when you saw the poster, Gather here come cry small cause una mama don't do it again so predictable. You say it exactly the way, it's without being biased. For tense from you simply means Ruth passed but not with flying colors. If not university, not third class she graduated with. Make una feast do I'm not Ruth fans, on point with your review. I was disappointed that Kwasi was nowhere to be seen and had to look for him repeatedly. Perhaps he should have been cast in a more significant role. The lead actor's performance was lacking, and Prisma's emotional reaction to the destroyed drug seemed disproportionate for her character's role. Refreshing storyline, but poorly executed.